Hi, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Santos and I decided to do this documentary because it's a dream of mine to do this film, because I can give you the perspective of a patient and the perspective of a doctor through this process. I decided to name the documentary Thriving in Spite of Cancer, the doctor and the patient's perspective. Some of you know me because I've been a health nut over the years, so always believing in a healthy diet, avoiding sweets, working out, and in spite of that, I developed cancer at the age of 57, and like a fool, literally speaking, I missed the cancer. I've been in practice for 36 years, and to be honest, this is the first time I have ever seen this kind of tumor. The name of my tumor was a liposarcoma. That happened in my right leg, and by the time we noticed this tumor was a huge tumor, a 12 centimeter tumor, with a likelihood of having metastasis as high as 70%. I was thinking that it was probably muscle growing because I used to work out a lot, but I was fooling myself. It was actually a tumor. After this cancer was over, I developed also prostate cancer, Gleason 6, so I need to deal with that situation as well. But I can tell you at this point in time, I'm 61 years old. A lot of people can't believe I'm actually 61 years old. And I am doing better than 95% of the people my age. And this is much easier than said than done, but it's actually the truth. Is it worth being healthy? Absolutely. I gotta tell you, if I wasn't healthy before I got the cancer, I don't think I will be here talking to you. I don't think I will be able to withstand so much aggressive treatment. I went from running, I used to jog in the treadmill, I was running an 8-minute mile, to unable to walk in a period of 3 weeks. That aggressive was this process. Since I had a tumor that big, 12 centimeters in my right leg, and the likelihood of having metastasis with that size of tumor was as high as 70%. So I believe if I wasn't that much of a health nut, number one, probably I would have metastasis by the time they diagnosed my tumor, and number two, I couldn't withstand the treatment for sure. So my first question is, why did I get the cancer since I practice such a pretty healthy lifestyle? I don't know why I got the cancer. Maybe it was because I used to suffer from uncontrolled anger. Before I was a very angry person, or I was very stressed in my medical practice, or I didn't have enough sleep, or a difficult childhood. You know, all those things together maybe depressed my immune system to the point where I developed this tumor. So maybe that's the reason, but I don't know. I don't know why that happened. So what did I learn about the experience of having cancer? I think the first thing that I have to tell people is I learned acceptance. You have to accept what's happening as a natural process, not as something that just is completely rare or strange. It's something natural. A lot of people kind of get angry and they are fearful and they say, why did this happen to me? Why this is so terrible? And by doing that, you don't help yourself. By having fear, you start depressing your immune system and you go into the battle with very low reserves. Don't become a victim, become more like a witness. Just see the situation, see the process as a natural process and live with it, accept it, be a witness. Let me start talking about breathing, which is very important. Actually, in older times, the Jewish people were thinking that the breath was the life from God. It's very important to be mindful of our breathing, and I'm going to show you briefly how I tell people to breathe. I tell them to take slow breaths before they eat each time, 5 of them, which is very important to slow down and to be more mindful when you eat. So doing it 3 times a day before each meal helps you to slow down when you're eating and to chew better the food, and also to do it as a ritual, as a routine. But basically, the exercise is quite simple. I will take a deep breath at the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold it for 2 seconds, 1, 2, and then breathe out slowly, 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 all the way out. So this kind of breathing relaxes you, but also makes you more mindful of what's happening in the moment. Okay, now let's talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness is very important. And as I said, it's not only just meditation, relaxation, and breathing, but it also includes a very important aspect, which is spirituality, which I believe is the biggest force that is keeping us here alive. And it's not only thinking about a higher power such as God, but also about the interconnectedness of all the human beings, all the creatures in this earth. Also, journaling is very important. Remember in the old movies when the ladies used to journal, and they will have these journals, and then the boy in the movie will find the journal and read the journal, get to the core and the secret of the love and the heart of that woman. Well, before we used to use that, but then the psychiatrists came about and they poo-poo the journaling, but it's very important because then you can write down what kind of foods and what kind of things give you energy and what kind of things give you fatigue, which is very important after the chemotherapy to realize what is going to give you energy. Having a journal, would you write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for every night? At the end of the day, you do that, you journal and write down this. That seems to help a lot with depression. It leaves depression because the human mind cannot concentrate on something negative and positive at the same time. So you make a conscious effort to look for those 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. I'm just going to give you my personal example. I was drinking this protein drink, which was called muscle milk, which is very good. But I was getting very sluggish in the afternoon. I couldn't perform. Then I started preparing my own smoothies. And by doing that, I was able to eliminate some chemicals, I'm sure, because I was basically doing the smoothie with a protein powder. I was using almond milk. I was using berries. And basically, I drink that in the afternoon. It gives me a lot of energy, even after not sleeping well. What kind of things are very important to incorporate in the diet? Pomegranate juice is very good for prostate cancer and breast cancer. Pumpkin seeds are very good as well. Eating salmon is extremely good, and wild-caught fish as well. I think the diet is extremely important. As I said, try to avoid everything that has sweets and gluten. Try to clean your diet as much as you can and incorporate certain vegetables that are very good for cancer. Broccoli, spinach, sage are very good vegetables that have anti-cancerous properties, and I make them part of my diet all the time. The diet I'm describing to you is also a very good diet for the brain. So it's good for the heart, it's good for the brain, it's good to prevent cancer. Other thing that I wanted to emphasize with you is the exercise part. As you can see, I don't look much like a cancer patient anymore. Even though I had my leg very, very thin during the cancer, my leg right now looks very symmetrical to the other one, and it's because I've been exercising. I love to do routines with kettlebells. As you can see, my physique looks very good. I work hard, but I don't work out more than 20 minutes a day. I use a DVD called Extreme Fitness in 30 Days, which you can get via Amazon, which I recommend because it uses weights and it uses high intensity training, interval training, which is very useful. So this is what I wanted to share with you. And I want you to understand that this is a very holistic way to approach the problem, very comprehensive. It's not just having treatments, it's just not listening to doctors, it's not being just a patient, but going through a process and taking that process to help other people, like in this case. And with this, I'm just going to end up this short documentary, and I thank you very much for your attention and for me to explain this process to you. I hope it's been of help to you. Thank you very much.